Welcome to the Fearfully and Wonderfully Me podcast, a podcast designed to help you increase your influence, develop your leadership, and maximize your results. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast episode, Small Battles in a Big War. This is one of the topics I think I come back to again and again when I talk to so many people, regardless of what it is that they want to change in their life, whatever it is that they want to achieve, whatever their goal may be, personally and professionally. I think it's human nature for us to focus on the outcome itself, the goal, the thing that we want, whatever it is. It's just human nature to see that. And a lot of times these are big goals or big dreams that we set for ourselves. Maybe it's starting your own business and being able to leave a job. Maybe it's a health or weight loss goal. Maybe it's just personal growth and influence. Whatever it is, I love to use the analogy of that's a big goal, a big dream, a big war that you're fighting, right? Because sometimes when we have that goal or that dream or that thing that we want to accomplish, it is like fighting a war in terms of it's hard. It's frustrating. There are going to be days you don't feel like doing the thing that will help you accomplish whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. There are going to be times when you feel like you're not winning. There are going to be times when you just flat out learn the hard way what doesn't work in terms of reaching a goal. And I always come back to, anytime I'm coaching somebody, I always come back to the power of winning the small battles. And don't focus on the big overall war. Small battles in a big war, right? The small victories day in and day out are what's going to help you accomplish the thing or the goal or the outcome. But so much of the time we focus on the goal or the thing, and we don't focus on what will help us get there. The process, the small daily things that help us move forward. And I see this time and time again. And there again, I'm not beating anyone up. It's just human nature. So this is, of course, December. I'm going to use weight loss as an analogy because so many people can relate to it. With the new year coming up, it's going to be probably hundreds of thousands, millions of Americans are going to set a weight loss goal for January. They're going to get all fired up. It's New Year's. I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to lose those Christmas pounds. That's a lot of people are going to have that as a New Year's resolution. And so what's going to happen is they're going to get on the scale and be interested in changing the number on the scale. And notice I said interested in changing the number on the scale, not necessarily committed to changing the number on the scale. And I could do a whole podcast episode on the difference between being interested in a goal and being committed and disciplined to achieving it. In fact, maybe that's a great podcast episode for 2024 to start off. But so a lot of people are going to get on the scale and be interested in changing the number on the scale. And so they'll do things like, and honestly, this is speaking from personal experience. At some point, I was one of those people who stepped on the scale and went, oh, I want to change that number. I'll just eat a salad for lunch. Or I'll just have a protein bar for breakfast and lunch, and then I'll eat a sensible dinner. And if I do that a few days, that number on the scale is going to go down. Well, here's the way it would go. I would eat the protein bar and I'd be starving by 11 o'clock. So I'd eat the second protein bar and I'd still be starving. And then I'd get frustrated and I'd be like, I'm not ever going to win this war, or I'm never going to accomplish change that I want. I'm not going to achieve this goal. Or I lose interest. I'm not committed. Or I just become frustrated with myself. And so then I go grab some Oreo cookies for a snack. And then by dinner time, I'm eating a tub of ice cream, right? This is how the process works when we simply focus on wanting the goal to happen. That's not where your power of change is. I want you to focus on the daily little things, the daily little measures, the daily little steps that will help you accomplish the goal. So if we put that in context of losing weight, instead of focusing on just does the number of this on the scale go up or down, I want you to focus on the things that absolutely 100% will move you forward. So maybe it's instead of eating a protein bar for breakfast and lunch and starving yourself all day, and then by mid-afternoon you're throwing the towel out and saying, never mind, I don't want it that bad. Focus on just better. Instead of having those Oreo cookies as an afternoon snack, maybe you could have an apple. And don't focus on perfection. I just want you to focus on what are the small things I can do today and every day that will help me move forward. So maybe it's trading your Oreo cookies for an apple, maybe not. But if we put that in context of weight loss, there's absolutely no doubt that if you trade enough of those Oreo cookies for more apples, your health will improve, and decreasing the sugar in your diet will over time affect the number on the scale, assuming you don't replace those cookies with something else, right? If you trade the Oreo cookies for an apple and then add a milkshake, that's not going to help you move forward. But I want you to think about what are the small battles, the small steps, the small daily things that if and when I do them consistently over time will achieve the goal. Because that's where the power is. The power of change and personal growth and transformation is in the small battles. And when you know that they are just small battles, you are much more likely, number one, to win them. Number two, to be committed to doing them. And number three, much more overall likely to have them stack up in your favor. So what's important to this? Keys to success. Number one, you got to figure out the small battles. So whatever your goal is, whatever your thing that you're trying to accomplish, what are the 3 or 4 things that you got to do every single day? The small battles that you need to focus on winning. Instead of thinking about the big war, focus on the small battles, right? Maybe it's just cutting down portion sizes. And again, I'm relating this to a weight loss example, but let's find another example. Let's talk about something that's a little more subjective. Let's just say your goal is to increase your influence. And so you think, man, it's great. I would love to just increase my influence with my teenagers, for example. Well, that's great. But number one, how do you know when you've accomplished it? How do you know how to get there? What would that look like anyway? So you got to focus on the small battles. And in terms of, again, using the example of increasing your influence with your teenager, that is going to look like a small battle is going to look like one interaction on a Saturday morning. And maybe it is you figuring out, hey, I need to listen more on Saturday morning when I have a few uninterrupted moments with my 15-year-old. What would that look like? That is the small battle. Now, absolutely, if you did that every single day, that's going to help you increase your influence, right? But my point here is don't just focus on, I want to increase my influence. You got to figure out what are the small battles. And it might be a battle because naturally we tend to want to, particularly with our children, or maybe our team members at work, we want to give advice. We want to talk. We want to share wisdom and insight and experience. But that's not going to help you increase your influence most of the time. Because people who want your advice, they're going to ask, right? So your opportunity, the small battle that you're fighting, is going to be listen more and talk less. Now, again, I'm just throwing this out as an example. I don't know if your goal is healthier or weight loss for this upcoming year, or maybe it's increasing your influence, starting your own business, whatever it is. I want you to focus on the small battles, the daily little things. If I use this example in terms of marathon training, and I've probably touched on this example before, but there's so many life lessons in marathon training. That's one reason I like to do it regularly. I learned so much about myself through the process. But the daily small battles, the big war in terms of marathon running is the day of, is running the 26 miles. And trust me, there is always a point in 26 miles where I think this is not fun anymore. In fact, there might be several miles of this is not fun anymore. There are going to be, it's going to ache, things are going to hurt. There are going to be, I'm tired. That's the big war, right? But to win that, I have to focus on the daily small battles in the training. I have to focus on eating a little bit healthier. I have to focus on my training runs. I have to focus on, did I get enough sleep, right? Those are the small battles that will help me win the war on the day of the race. And so I just focus on the small things. So maybe today it was, my small things are, instead of having a donut for breakfast, I'm going to have some whole grain toast. That's a much better energy source. Not having the sugar is going to decrease inflammation in my body, right? That's the small battle. Today was the small battle might be having whole grain toast instead of a donut for breakfast. That's the small battle. And it's going to feel, sometimes those small battles are big enough, right? Don't focus on the goal, the end goal. Focus on the measures that lead up to success. And notice that I didn't commit to eating everything perfect all day. Using this example, I just committed to this small battle right now. When I wander into the kitchen and say, what's for breakfast? Oh, I could have this donut or I could have some whole grain toast. Fight the little battle, win the little victory, and your success over time will add up. But I don't have to worry about eating perfect all day. I'm not going to stress myself out by trying to commit to perfection that I cannot achieve. I'm just saying, in this moment, here is the battle, the small battle, and I don't have to get everything right. I just have to get the small things, more of the small things right. And when we do that consistently over time, it adds up to success. So just action steps, takeaway action steps. If you have something in mind that you are planning or thinking of dreaming of in 2024, spend some time between now and the end of the year. You got a couple of weeks here. Spend some time thinking on purpose. What are the small battles that I need to win that's going to help me win that war or achieve that goal, if you like that analogy better? What are the small things, right? We're just talking about leveraging the power of small steps. And I've touched on this before. It is not a new concept, but you have to be intentional about doing it. It's not going to happen if you don't put some intentional thought, energy, and action into it, right? Great things never happen by accident. If you want to change something in your life, you're going to have to be intentional about changing it, whatever it is. What are the things that you want to change? What are the things you need to do to affect that change, to create that change or accomplish that goal, that outcome? The power of the process, right? Leveraging the power of consistency and small daily wins over time. This is such a powerful concept. Again, starting a business or losing weight or getting healthy, running a marathon, these can be big goals. And it's easy to get frustrated when we don't see progress. But if you can look back over a track record of success in the small things, the process that will help you move forward, you're building up success. You are building that cathedral one brick at a time, right? One great choice at a time, one moment at a time, one interaction at a time. And it really is that simple. Is I don't have to worry about building the whole cathedral in a day. I just have to worry about laying one brick today. I don't have to worry about running a marathon today. I just have to worry about the training things I need to do today, right? Whatever that looks like. You're not focusing on the big war, right? You're focusing on just the small battles within yourself that are going to create the changes and create the track record of success. And ultimately, the outcome will take care of itself. So you focus on the process, total commitment to the process, and then the results given enough time. If you are acting on the right things, the outcome will happen. Until next time.
Start increasing your influence and maximizing your potential with Ria's audiobooks. Available at audible.com, amazon.com, and iBooks. Please visit riastory.com to learn about Ria's books, resources, speaking, and training programs. Thanks for listening.